28. His contribution to footy in this state is being applauded, from being SANFL commissioner to playing a major role in the local teams entering the AFL. He was also a formidable lawyer. 5AA's Graham Corns is full of admiration.
Oh, what a man he was. What a man. I mean, I was short in stature, but just an enormous presence. And he loved footy. You know, he gave such great service, not just as the president of the SANFL, but he had to guide South Australian football through its toughest times, the biggest upheaval it ever had.
The ANZ is being accused of repeatedly breaking the trust placed in banks as it faces a $240 million fine for widespread misconduct, as well as admissions of unconscionable conduct relating to a bond trading scandal. The bank was also found to have misled customers about interest rates on savings accounts and found to have failed to swiftly respond to hardship notices. ASIC Deputy Chairwoman Sarah Court says the bank was also slow to act on refunding fees for money charged to dead customers.
These failures by ANZ likely made a difficult time even tougher and compounded the distress these families were facing.
While AMP will pay out $75 million for allegedly mismanaging members' superannuation benefits, the financial services provider made no admission of liability in reaching the $120 million class action settlement. The rest of the payout will be covered by insurance. The federal government has released a climate change report which paints a catastrophic picture for Australia. The climate risk assessment says property values will collapse by more than $600 billion by 2050. It argues rising sea levels, flooding and heat waves are mainly to blame. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says the government's taking climate change seriously.
What we need to do is act on climate change to acknowledge the science that climate change will have and is having an impact on our economy, which is why we need an orderly transition, and that's what my government is putting in place.
There's been a hazmat incident at Oakbank in the Adelaide Hills. One person's been taken to hospital after a hydrochloric acid spill. The chemical has been diluted and cleaned up and the area declared safe. And the Emmys have been handed out in LA. There have been wins for Adolescence, Hacks, Severance and The Penguin, but Kate Blanchett missed out for Disclaimer. Now turning to 5AA sport, and State of Origin football is set to return next year. WA will host Victoria on February the 14th. Premier Peter Malinauskas is also keen to get it here to SA.
First and foremost, we would like to be able to secure gather round to our state, because that's the big economic driver within AFL footy at the moment, outside of a grand final. But we don't want to see State of Origin eluding South Australia just because we have gather round. So, you know, in some respects, you could accuse us of wanting to have our cake and eat it too.
Crows skipper Jordan Dawson says he still views their season as a success despite bowing out of the finals in straight sets. They managed to go from finishing 15th in 2024 to taking out the minor premiership. But the captain says it's hard to feel satisfied when you're not the last one standing.
What I'm really proud of as the captain is that our growth as a group and where we've come from, but only one team really is going to be extremely proud of their season every year, and that's the harsh reality of footy and professional sport, is that it is ruthless and you won't be fully satisfied until you're that last team standing on the last weekend of September. So there's definitely a lot of areas that we can be proud of as a group, I think.
In the AFLW, an injury blow for the Crows. Scans have confirmed key forward Caitlin Gould broke her wrist in Sunday's win over Hawthorn and could miss up to 2 months. She'll undergo surgery tonight. And Sam Kerr has returned to the field after a 20-month injury layoff, scoring her 100th goal for Chelsea in a 3-1 win over Aston Villa. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon at Bedford Park. Urgent electrical works today. Mallory Road near the Southern Expressway. A little bit slow at Nova Gardens for those ongoing works. Anzac Highway near Morford Road. Also those train works making things slow there. And Flinders Park sluggish this afternoon for those works on Holbrooks Road near Grange Road. You'll find cameras this afternoon. 5S Drive Pasadena and Glenburn Road at Burnside. Euro Summer is calling. Flight Centre's early bird sale on now. Fly Singapore Airlines Adelaide to Barcelona return from $1,695. Book now at Flight Centre. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
To the weather, showers increasing today, a high of 25. Showers tomorrow, 17. A possible morning shower on Wednesday, also 17, and 24 for Thursday. At the moment, 21. Now let's see what's happening on 9 News tonight.
in your suburb.
Good evening from Port Noarlunga.
Across your state.
A sombre scene here in Bordertown tonight.
9 News is covering the stories that matter to South Australians.
We begin with breaking news tonight.
South Australian parents urged to be extra vigilant.
Because your home is our home. Adelaide is your city. 9 is your news.
3, 4... Oh, I'm practicing mindfulness by counting my 10 original tenders. That's 10 little wins for 10 little dollars. In a piece has never been this affordable. KFC, FLG, not everywhere, not forever, pick up only.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At FIVEAA Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, FIVEAA Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for FIVEAA Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Need a quick dinner or snack hack? Whatever's in your fridge, refresh, remix and wrap it up with Simpson's Pantry wraps and flatbreads. They'll be absolutely wrapped.
Simpson's Pantry, absolutely wrapped.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Leith, Forrest.
Look at that, we got to the last hour of the show already. The Complete Care live stream is now up and running on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you, Complete Care. That's complete with a K. Let me just adjust myself. Coming up later this hour, you're going to hear about a really sweet new Australian family film that opens in cinemas as of Thursday. The film is called Kangaroo. This is a movie that is based on the true life story of Chris Brolga Barnes, who was the founder of the Kangaroo Sanctuary there in the Northern Territory. And it's a film all about a guy who ends up stranded looking after kangaroos. Really sweet, really cute, kind of great family film that you want to check out, support great Australian films. So we'll speak to one of the stars of that film, Ryan Corr, who's going to join us a little bit before the end of the show. In the meantime, if you have any questions about your pets, now is the time to call 8223 0000 because it's time for Dr. Derek.
Who let the dogs out?
Time to talk all things pets with Dr. Derek.
And as a true man of medicine, he's taken one for the team today and he's joining us via FaceTime. Lovely to see you, Dr. Derek. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Leith. Thank you.
Now, you got a little bit of a sniffle. You're not just a bit flat because of Friday night's performance. You're not feeling the best, so you thought better safe than sorry. Just lock yourself up there in the parade.
I'm sure that didn't help. And then the narrow loss by the wallabies, and then the narrow loss by the redlegs. I think all these viruses have said, here's an easy target, we're going to get them. So I just thought I would save the lovely people at 5AA from enduring any more bugs.
You know what? It is a genuine medical condition, is it not? Heartbreak? Like in a sporting sense or whatever the case might be. I think there's some truth or some element to that.
Yes, there is. And they've proven it with people, and I'm sure it's the same with dogs and cats, that they found that you can die of a broken heart. Mm-hmm. They found that often if there's a couple and the husband loses the wife or vice versa, and they've been together all of their lives, that the heart actually changes and you get changes in the muscle, and I think in the rhythm as well, but I'm not sure. But there's certainly changes that occur in the heart that make the heart less efficient, and you can die of a broken heart. I'm not that sad about the crows, but
it all piles.
a little bit sad, but hopefully my heart's keeping going.
Correct. It just all piles on. I mean, the legs were. S. Rose in the same boat, Dr. Derek. He's got to come on air in 50 minutes' time. If you've got a question for Dr. Derek, 8223 0000 is the number. The Parade Norwood Vet Clinic. Any question you have about your dogs, your cats, whatever the case might be, would love to hear from you. John from Elizabeth, already, Dr. Derek, ready to go. John, you're speaking with the doc.
Hello, Dr. Derek.
Hello, John.
I'm talking about an 11-year-old miniature fox terrier. I just took him to have his inoculation, and also they said his teeth need cleaning. and they quoted me $1,500 to clean his teeth. That sounds exorbitant to me.
I guess it depends how bad his teeth are. In the vet field, we can actually charge what we like, which sounds terrible, and everyone says vets are really expensive, and I guess my argument is I don't think we are expensive, but we can actually say you could go into one vet with your dog and they might quote you $1,000, and then you go into another vet and they might quote you $2,000 for doing the same job. So it's not an exorbitant amount if your dog needs a lot of work done, because they need a general anaesthetic. All dogs should have intravenous fluids with their general anaesthetic to keep their kidneys ticking over nicely during the anaesthetic, and then they'll generally need pain relief. And we all scale and polish teeth, and if any need to come out, then that can be difficult depending what teeth they are. So I guess in answer to your question, John, it just depends how bad your dog's teeth are. If they're not bad at all and they just need a bit of a scale and polish, then that's probably the upper end of normal for the quotes you've been given. But if they're really not in good shape and require quite a lot of work, then I think that's probably an acceptable quote. So, as I say, possibly maybe just go to another vet. You'll have to pay a consultation fee, but then you can get a quote from them, and hopefully you'll be surprised and it might be a lot less.
Okay, thanks very much. And also, I had a little foxy that died of a liver shunt at 4 years old. What's the chances if I bought a dog from the same breed that would have a liver shunt too?
The chances, I can't give you an exact figure, but there's certainly been proven to be a hereditary component to portosystemic shunts, as they're called. They're not common, and we get a lot of litters that 5 of the dogs are okay and 1 of the dog has a systemic shunt. So if you can, I would probably go somewhere else, would be my advice. But it's certainly not a guarantee that if you got a dog from the same person, I would probably try and get a dog not from the same mating, so not from the same mother and the same father. If it was going to be the same mother, then I would ask if they could try and source a different father, and that would probably reduce the risks that you get another dog with the same condition.
Good on you, John. Thank you for the call. A liver shunt is what, Dr. Derek? What's that condition?
A liver shunt is they're born and the blood vessels that go through the liver, and so the blood goes through the liver and the liver detoxifies lots of poisons that we get all the time. Mm-hmm. I guess the one everyone knows about is alcohol. So the liver detoxifies alcohol, but it also detoxifies lots of different things that we just eat in our normal food. So with a portosystemic shunt, the blood vessels are abnormal, and so the blood system passes through the liver without the liver being able to do its full job. And you can, in some cases, there's very clever surgeons that can operate on the dogs and can alter things and get them back to fairly normal. But unfortunately, in a lot of cases, they're not operable, and it's not a wonderful outlook.
It's interesting, though, isn't it? Some dogs that are bred versus some dogs that might just be rescues, or what we call bitses, because they've got bits of this dog and bits of that dog. They seem to be able to fight their way through things, whereas maybe there's some kind of glitch in the mating process where we hear about these hip issues or dysplasia issues or whatever the case might be.
Yes. If you look at every single breed that there is, you will find that they all have a bit of a weakness. Mm-hmm. So German Shepherds, Labradors, the bigger dogs have problems or can have problems with, as you mentioned, their hips and their elbows and their shoulders. They can have dysplasia and something called OCD, which is largely a hereditary component. So if you have good breeders, then they should be trying to breed these conditions out of their dogs. You have with Sharpies and with West Highland Terriers, a lot of them have genetically bad skin, and so they are prone to getting allergies and skin infections. Sadly, probably the loveliest breed temperament-wise, the Cavaliers. If you get a Cavalier that doesn't end up with a heart murmur later on in life, you consider yourself very lucky, because unfortunately most of them get that. But saying that, like the Oodles are now very popular. So everyone's getting Labradoodles, Cavoodles, Spoodles. All these schnoodles, all the Oodles. I was talking to the eye specialist. There's now 2 or 3 eye specialists in Adelaide, but there used to only be one. And he was surprised how many Oodles he was seeing with eye problems. So it's good, the hybrid vigour, if you take one breed and cross it with another breed, but you need to take a good example of one breed and cross it with a good example of another breed. Otherwise, you may just be multiplying your problems. So it's not a black and white situation, unfortunately.
Amen to that. Dr. Derek is here from the Parade Norwood Vet Clinic. If you have a pet question, we'll take it after the break. 8223 0000. Oodles of doodles. More next.
The NDIS does more than support individuals with disabilities. It paves the way for extraordinary people to thrive. FIVEAA puts the spotlight on great companies like Local Kitchen Co. They're an NDIS-approved provider who supplies nutritious, affordable home-style meals delivered straight to your door. Every meal is thoughtfully planned and made with fresh local ingredients. Search Local Kitchen Co. and order today. Keep listening for more great NDIS companies changing lives across SA on Adelaide's 5AA.
Hey, it's Lauren here from Adelaide. Wouldn't you love a reward just for shopping at your local Star Discount chemist? Become a Superstar Rewards member to earn points, receive birthday vouchers and more. Star Discount Chemist. How can we help? Earn and redeem points on eligible purchases. Visit website for full terms and conditions.
A new elevated shopping experience awaits at Burnside Village. With a 2-story Mecca flagship store, Coco Republic, JB Hi-Fi, Uniqlo, Style Runner, Cavari, July and much more. Burnside Village. Fashion, dining, lifestyle. BurnsideVillage.com.au.
Now, Dr. Derek, this sounds like the kind of day that you would love. Every dog in Adelaide will be hanging out this Sunday because Sunday is Dog's Day Out. 10 until 3, Mobara Park there in Mawson Lakes. This will be a lot of fun.
Oh, sounds very good. I take my dog up to Mawson Lakes to get a haircut, so I visit Mawson Lakes frequently.
Well, you'll have to drop by. It's a free community event. It's run by the Lions Club of Salisbury. Everyone is welcome. There will be food trucks, dog-related market stalls, vet checks, dog treats, regular market stalls of all sorts, dogs rescues, charities. They're there too. Cute puppies to meet.
Oh,
what a day. Kids
that sounds like a perfect day out, doesn't it?
Jumping castle. I know you're big on a jumping castle. And a bit of henna.
Yes.
Make your hands look nice. Glitter tattoos and face painting. But, of course, it wouldn't be Dog's Day Out without the dog performances, agility shows for everyone. How agile are your dogs?
I have one dog. She's fairly agile. She's a very good soccer player. I should take a video. She's an incredibly good soccer player. So, yeah, she is very agile, but that sounds like a fabulous day out, actually.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's this Sunday, 10 until 3, Mobara Park, Mawson Lakes. And remember, if you're coming to the Dog's Day Out, bring your dogs.
Come on in.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 90 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
The Battle of the Ages is back with the one and only Anne Edmonds.
To keep the millennials happy, we'll give everyone a participation medal.
New Talking About Your Jam starts 7:30 tomorrow on 10.
For over 50 years, Gliderol has been manufacturing and installing garage doors for South Australian homes. Spring is almost here, so why not improve the street appeal and value of your most prized possession? Order a new Gliderol door with operator before the end of September and you'll receive 2 extra handsets. Plus, we'll remove your existing door for free. Call Gliderol for a free measure and quote on 1300 799 144 or go to gliderol.com.au. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
An affordable home that delivers design and function? That's distinctive.
A commitment to quality using only the best materials and workmanship. That's distinctive.
A reputation for quality, style and value built over 40 years. That's distinctive.
Be distinctive with Distinctive Homes, affordable boutique homes. Visit our display homes at Riverlea, Seaford, Lightsview, Playford Alive, Mirrorvale at Anglevale, and our newest display homes at Hurtle Grove, just off Raynell Road, Old Ranella.
5AA Afternoons with Leith Forrest.
23 minutes after 1. Let's try 21 minutes after 3. Close. You know what I'm talking about. Dr. Derek is here from the Parade Norwood Vet Clinic on our Complete Care live stream. He's done the right thing. He's taken one for the team. He said, look, I'm not 100% right. I can still play, but I'll just come off the bench, and more impact is what you're all about, Dr. Derek. So you're there at home, providing all the information that we need in a safe environment, which is what it's all about. Marino from FIVEAA has a question for you about a cat. Marino, you're speaking to Dr. Derek.
Hello, Dr. Derek. Marino here. Doctor, we've got a cat who's we've worked out she's at least 16 years old, or if not older. And
Yes.
One side of her, up near her hindquarters, on her body, she seems to have really thinned her hair out to the extent where you can see the skin underneath. Is there something to be concerned about, or is it just old age?
Has she been licking it?
No, she hasn't been licking it. She eats well. Everything seems to be normal with her. She's just loses just a patch in that area.
Okay, and it's only in the one side?
It's only on the one side, yes.
Okay, she's not even going thin on the other side?
No, not even going thin. It seems to have worked a little bit around to the underneath a little bit, but that's about it, right?
Okay. Oh, okay. Does she lie on that side all the time?
No. Well, she lies on both sides.
Right. Yeah.
And but I know when she at night when she lies in front of the heater, it's usually with that side up, right? But that's because we noticed it, but that's about it. But I've seen her lying on both sides.
Okay. And before the hair went thin, there wasn't like a knot of hair or anything like that?
No. My wife.
The hair hadn't stuck together in a big clump?
No. As I said, my wife would have worked that out easily because she's Missy always sleeps on her lap at night when we watch telly, so she would have felt that easily.
Okay. I'm not sure is the answer. You could maybe take a photo and email it through to my clinic and I'll have a look at it for you. In most cases with hair problems in older cats, it usually happens on both sides, unless there's been some sort of trauma to the skin on one side where they've been in a fight or they lie on that side all the time. So the only other cause I could think of off the top of my head is if there was something happening under the skin, if the skin had lost a bit of its blood supply, or if there's no lump you can feel under the skin where she's lost the hair?
No, nothing. As I said, she hasn't seemed to be in discomfort or anything. But, you're talking trauma. Probably about 4 years ago, we'd had her to the vet and everything because her hindquarters had been paralysed, and the vet believes that she's probably either been bitten by a spider or had a slight nip from a snake. And took her a long time to come good in the hindquarters, but now she's her age is stopping her from doing all the things that she used to do before, like jumping on and doing stuff like that. But other than that, she's okay.
Yes. I mean, yes. 4 years ago, it's too long ago to be affecting now. So I'm not really sure, Marina. If you take a photo and send it to me, I'll get back to you with how it looks. And if you can take a photo close up so I can see the quality of the skin, and maybe also take a photo of the other side as well, so I can see if the hair looks as if it's thinning. But it is unusual just to lose it on one side and not the other. So yeah, if you send me a photo, I'll get back to you.
Good on you, Marino.
I can't give you a definitive answer, I'm afraid.
It's a pity you're not here, Dr. Derek. I've got the same thing on one of my legs. It's almost like it's like a partial alopecia, just on the front left shin. I've got no hair. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just an age thing.
I'll have a look at it next week.
Thank you. I'll show you next week.
When I'm feeling better.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to see it now. Frank from Borough, you got a question for Dr. Derek, Frank?
Yes, Dr. Derek. I rang about 10 months ago, last hay fever season, about my dogs. One in particular, a little Maltese Shih Tzu. And I didn't know whether it was hay fever or whether it was something we were feeding it. Well, it happens to be hay fever season again, and the itches have come back, so it's definitely hay fever. Just wondering what I can give the poor little male.
Whereabouts is he itching?
Mainly the tummy, all over really. He's only short. We've got a lot of stinging nettles have come up with all the rain, but I'm pretty sure it's a hay fever because I've been getting itches as well, and I've been taking antihistamine with it.
Yes. So we actually were talking about it last week, because I was saying it's all started. The itches have started, and I think almost every week we will get this. You can try the human antihistamines. I find Zyrtec is the one that works better, and it's 1 tablet per 10 kilos. So how heavy is he? Is it about 5 kilos or?
It'd probably be 6-7 kilo.
Okay, you could try with half a tablet once a day. There's some specialists now recommending that you can give it twice a day. So I'd start off with half a tablet once a day, and if you're not getting a response, try half a tablet twice a day. The other thing you can do is when he's been outside and he comes inside, wipe him down with a damp cloth, because they've found that a lot of dogs, the allergens will stick to the skin, and also they can get what's called contact allergies, where if they actually touch the plant, the ivy, the grass, then that can set them off. So wiping them down with a damp cloth can set them off. If the antihistamine doesn't work, and sadly there's a reasonable chance it won't because they're not as effective in dogs as they are in people, then you probably have to go and see your vet. And the best medication, I think, excuse me, or the one I like is something called Apoquel, which your vet will have. I give it to at the moment I'm giving it to my dog every night because she's getting itchy every night now that she's a little white dog and spring is here and off she goes. So I give her Apoquel, and it seems to be very safe and very effective as well. So
good luck, Frank.
Try the Zyrtec first. If that doesn't work, you can try different antihistamines. You might find a different one works better, but you also may find that none of them work.
And this wind today couldn't help. I know a lot of people were struggling with the wind today too. Dr. Derek, so I'm sure that dogs are the same. Before we let you out of here, a couple of text messages. Dean said, please ask the good doc if I should be worried about my dog eating the poo from the flying foxes that are in the tree in my yard. Is that common? The dogs would try the excrement of other animals?
It's not common, but I would certainly try and get them to stop. It may give them a tummy upset. All sort of dogs eating other animals' poo can give them a tummy upset. There are diseases that you can get from flying foxes, but dogs eating the poo should not give them that. But I would certainly try and stop them because you're at risk of a big tummy upset.
Yes, and it's gross. And Janet says, Dr. Derek, what does it mean when the back legs are shaking in a large 9-year-old Springer Spaniel, please?
Okay, it could be a lot of things. Some older dogs, their back legs do just shake, but it can be either weakness or it can be discomfort. So I always like with those dogs to try giving them some painkillers just to see if it makes any difference, because they can get, at that age, most of them are starting to get some form of arthritis, and they get arthritis in their back legs and in their spine as well. So talking to our vet, getting some painkillers to try and see if that's what the cause is. But some old dogs, the back legs just shake.
And Rosie asks, can you please repeat that dosage, please, Dr. Derek, by weight for Zyrtec? So you're saying, is it half a tablet for 10 kilos?
No, one per 10 kilos.
1 per 10 kilos.
1 per 10 kilos, yes. Yeah, Frank's dog was about 6 or 7, he said, so half a tablet. Do one per 10 kilos. Usually once a day is enough, but as I say, some specialists are saying you can do it twice a day.
So in my case, my German Shepherd was almost 50 kilos. So you're saying 5 tablets, 5 hay fever at once or over a period of time?
No, at once. You give them all at once.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, one dose.
Gee whiz.
So when that's the case, it's often cheaper getting the ones from the vets, to be honest.
Yeah, that is true.
They're not super cheap, but when you're up at the 5 Zyrtec a day, then that's not cheap either.
That's a lot. Lovely to have you on as always. Hope you're feeling better very soon, and we'll see you here in the studio when you get rid of
Thank
that
you.
cough.
And I just want to say, Father Jones listening, I hope yesterday went well.
Oh, yes.
Blessing all the animals at St. Peter's Cathedral. Sorry I couldn't get there because I wasn't feeling well. I will try and make it next year.
Well done. Actually, I drove past because I dropped my son off. West Adelaide won the under-16s grand final against Centrals, and we drove past. It was busy, Doc. There were pets everywhere, people streaming in and out of the cathedral. And then next door, St. Mark's must have had some kind of big shindig because there was animals and bouncy castles and all sorts. So no, I'm sure she had a great day, Father Jones. So well done. Dr. Derek, lovely to see you. Where do we find you?
On the parade, number 27, and the phone number is 83635323.
Rest up. We'll see you next week. All the best.
Thank you.
Dr.
Thanks,
Derek
bye.
McNair from the Parade Norwood Vet Clinic. Headlines next.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, I'm Kendall Brattig. The AFL and SANFL are among those paying tribute to Hall of Famer Max Bashir after his death at the age of 98. The ANZ Bank is facing a $240 million fine after an ASIC investigation into widespread misconduct. President Donald Trump has confirmed he'll attend the funeral of activist Charlie Kirk tomorrow morning our time. And Jordan De Goey insists he's the freshest player on Collingwood's list after taking an extended break to get his body right for finals. Showers increasing in 25, at the moment 21. More news at 4 o'clock on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Thinking about downsizing? Discover Northern Community Residential Village in Penfield. New homes in the latest release are now selling from just $450,000. With no stamp duty, no council rates and no exit fees, it's a smart financial move. Northern Community Residential Village offers secure, low-maintenance living in a friendly community of like-minded over 50s. Embrace your next chapter in style and comfort. Visit ncrv.com.au to book a tour of the display home today.
When your youngest finishes school and pick up and drop off become a distant memory. When the neighbours no longer have loud music to complain about. When you wake up and fall asleep to the sound of silence because the kids have flown the nest. If only it happened sooner. Semi-retirement, disposable income and infinite time to spend it. You're a super consumer. If you run a business that'd like to reach the consumer we call the trifecta, speak to us here at 5AA.
Turkey Flat Vineyards, renowned winery nestled in the heart of the beautiful Barossa Valley. The vineyards are home to some of the world's oldest Shiraz vines in the world, and the cellar door, used to be a butchery. It dated back to the 1860s. Turkey Flat Vineyard, they're excited to unveil their refreshed design for their much-loved Butcher's Block range. This marks a return to the winery's roots and it celebrates their deep heritage. The range is now bottled in a new lightweight glass bottle. This is a step towards reducing environmental impact, also stays true to the approachable nature of the Butcher's Block range. You can spend a day with your family, your friends, your loved ones at Turkey Flat Vineyards at the cellar door. Bethany Road, Tanunda. Just drink responsibly.
He's got his hoodie up and his head down, scrolling through his feed while strolling across the road. He's testing his luck and his new headphones. Then suddenly, he's testing your brakes too. Stop and take time to ensure your car stops in time and the brakes are all you hit. Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
Get the garden you want at Garden Grove, with everything from the ground up. Plants and instant lawn, mulches, soils and bark, landscape and building materials, hardware, pavers and more. There's a playground for the kids while you enjoy coffee or lunch in the cafe. Garden Grove, Golden Grove Road, Golden Grove. Open 7 days. Phone 8251 1111 for delivery to your area.
Garden Grove, the garden that I want.
With hoodie up and head down, he's crossing the road, testing his new headphones. And then, he's testing your brakes too. Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
Always relevant. 5AA. Always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Leith, Forrest.
24 minutes to 4. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for tuning in via the live stream too, YouTube and Facebook, thanks to Complete Care. That is complete with a K. Just before we get to my next guest, speaking of great movies, The Travellers is the premiere on Wednesday night, the 1st of October. Event Cinemas at Marion stars Bruce Beresford. Well, it's the Bruce Beresford's heartwarming family story, but it stars the great Brian Brown. It's in cinemas as of the 1st of October. So if you would like to go, we have a double pass for you. 8223 0055. The Travellers, Bruce Beresford's and Brian Brown. It's on Wednesday, the 1st of October, if you'd like to see a good movie. Now, speaking of good movies, here is one for you to check out, because as we know, there's a lot of doom and gloom in the world right now, and sometimes you just need a nice, fun family film. And this starts this Thursday.
I'll be bringing you the weather from Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach.
We're sending you to Broome.
I love Broome.
Oh, no.
I'm just passing through.
There must be someone who'll look after her.
Thought you might need some help with your car.
Who are you?
I'm Charlie. You saved Joey. You have to take care of her.
Is there a motel around here?
No thanks, all good. We'll let you two get cozy.
Should I be worried about those dark clouds?
You're the weatherman. What do you reckon?
The kangaroos. It was Charlie and her dad's thing.
It is to say they're special to us. Our totems.
I guess she thinks that if she can get close enough to them, she might get the answer she's searching for.
So that is the trailer for Kangaroo, which is a beautifully made feel-good family film. It's based on a true Australian story about an ex-TV star who teams up with a 12-year-old Indigenous girl. They rescue and rehabilitate injured Joeys. The ex-TV star in the film is my guest, Ryan Kaur. Ryan, lovely to see you. Congratulations on the film.
Thanks for having me, Leith. Nice to be here with you.
You know, these are the kind of films, Ryan, that fill your heart, you know, enjoyable experiences. I imagine not just for you in it, but for us audience members, like it's an enjoyable thing to do.
That's definitely the hope. It's full of heart, and it reminds me of those films that you go and watch with your family on the school holidays. You have an emotional experience. You know, they've always lasted with me. The Milo and Otises, the Runt, the Red Dogs of the world, and you know, I think they're informative, especially at this age. So being a part of that canon, and very much true to the Australian world, being called Kangaroo, is been really exciting, and especially working with these incredible young animals.
You know, I don't know who came up with it, but the old adage of never work with kids and animals, you've completely pushed that to one. You didn't get the memo, but what a star Lily Whiteley is, and the Joeys in this film.
Oh, mate, Lily she's so humble too, which will bug out of her, but she's an incredible athlete. Everything she touches turns to gold. You know, it was really us two on this film. We were absolute, we were Joey mums together when we first started it. So we got to have 2 weeks going over there and swaddling and learning to bond with the kangaroos and learning to feed them, because of course if you have them following you around on set, it's not like you can train them like dogs or cats. They're wild animals. They're vulnerable. They're often missing their mothers. So you know, Chris and Tani spent a lot of time with us teaching them about the incredible work they do in rehabilitating baby Joeys and letting them out into the wild, and that was one of the most special experiences on this. And I think Lily and I both really enjoyed the first 2-3 weeks in sort of getting to know the animals. I think the film very much explores animal welfare and our relationship with nature and sort of the healing effect that animals have. And I found as an individual going over there, spending that amount of time with them, it was really, it did that to us as well. It's a really humbling, grounding experience being around animals that you wouldn't always get to, and which was an incredible part of this experience.
I get the sense that it touched you. I've even seen you in some of the socials where you're talking about the film and you're still cuddling the Joeys. You're not one of these actors who come on, all right, give me here it is, take the shot, and now here, give it back to the assistant. I don't want this. But did you find that, like, spiritually or yourself, that you sort of bond with these animals?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an animal lover, and I think a big part of the draw of this film was as I said, the relationship that we have with animals and how that can heal us. I've owned dogs through my life, and that old adage, don't work with kids or animals, was the complete opposite in this film. It was very much part of the experience, led by Lily. But we did have to, change things here and there. It's not like you can say, come over here, sit, we'd like you to sit here, drop, we'll give you a treat and go over there. A lot of the time it was Margot, our little star who plays Liz, the youngest Joey. And we'd sort of, put little areas that she couldn't go, with the film crew all around, and then hope for the best a lot of the time. And sometimes that would be a couple of hours of just letting her get used to the space or jump up onto the bed. One sort of problem that we did have is anytime you make an opening of any sort of fabric, whether it be your t-shirt or the top of your sheet, she will try and somersault into it thinking it's a pouch. So when that's your biggest problems when filming a film, you're in a pretty fairy tale sort of land. So it was a spiritual experience.
You know what I think too about the film? It's not just important visually, but I think spiritually too, what you've done shooting in Alice, like in the heart of the Red Centre too. It's so beautiful to watch, but I imagine that too, as an experience as a film crew, you noticed that.
Well, we lived together on the land over there, and I'd never been over to that extent, over to the Northern Territory. And it's not just a backdrop in this film, it's very much a character. And what I think myself and Lily and the entire crew found really is there's such an energy over in the Red Centre. There's such a feeling of vibrancy and ancientness and spirituality as soon as you land there on the ground. And, between filming, we're able to go and see some of the incredible sites that are to be seen there. And so, I really hope that Kieran Fowler, our DOP, and actually we had Warwick Thornton, who's an incredible cinematographer in his own right, doing a lot of the second unit, a lot of the shots of the country. And so when you've got Warwick Thornton and Kieran sort of capturing the light and the magic that sort of is you're exposed to over there, it's pretty special. And so I hope that really informs the film. I think it's a place of great healing, and it's a place obviously where our history is profound, and being over there for that amount of time was very special. And we were sort of like a traveling circus. The film, there's not a huge amount of places to stay, so the cast and the crew were all staying a kilometre for each other, and we're all around the same supermarket. So it was a pretty incredible couple of months being able to be over there and that involved with the land and
I imagine. Yeah, magic for you and magic for the locals too. You mentioned Chris and Tani. So Chris and Tani Barnes, this is the true story that it's based on the Kangaroo Sanctuary and Rescue Centre, their real-life couple. Were you aware of them before? I love that movies like this shine a light on these people who, unless you pass through, you may or may not know.
That's right. And the work that Chris and Tani do is absolutely incredible. They've been rehabilitating baby kangaroos and releasing them out for the last 20-something years. I wasn't aware of Chris's story beforehand. I was given his book very shortly after having the film, Kangaroo Dundee, which sort of takes you through their journey to become. But spending a lot of close time with those guys and learning their secrets and them really inviting us into their world. Tani looks after the camels over there. Mm-hmm. And, really the work that they do is super special, and not many other people are doing it around the world. And so, we're loosely inspired by Chris's life, by Brolga's life, rather. I think he wasn't a banished Bondi weatherman, but he found purpose in helping animals, and I think he found healing, getting to know his story and getting to know them both closer as we went through. You could see when we first went up there his relationship with Roger, who was his first big star kangaroo who grew to 6'5" or something like that. And there's a monument at the sanctuary as soon as you go in there. And when he talks about Roger, he becomes emotional. And you could really see the love for these animals and the love for the work that they do over there, and being just able to be invited into that world was the experience in itself. So,
Ryan,
magic.
Ryan Corr is my guest. He is one of the stars of Kangaroo, the new Australian film which is coming. Studio Canal have got a great track record of this, don't they? Exceptional family films like Paddington, obviously, and most famously. But how important to have a local story like this that Australians can resonate to?
I think so. I spent a lot of my time before this catching up on my Paddingtons and my early childhood films, my Milo and Otis and Homeward Bounds, and seeing what sort of things, affected me when I was younger. But yeah, I think this is quintessentially Australian. I mean, obviously it's about kangaroo. We're set in the outback. But ultimately, I think, like a lot of those films, it's about what it's content. And this is about heart and finding healing in the most unexpected places and in the most unexpected relationships. And as I said, hopefully, is for the whole family and able for them to sit down and enjoy over a school holiday period. And they were seminal when I was growing up. It's a big reason that I became an actor in the first place, because they affected me so profoundly when I was younger. And so, yeah, I hope that this helps young kids internationally as well, but Australian kids feel a sense of pride for their home country and the animals that we have only here, and sort of adds to that canon of films that affect us as we're growing up, and also teach us little lessons. I think the relationship with nature and that healing element with animals is something to really encourage. And although we don't shy away from it, there are, we are dealing with joeys who are orphaned animals who have lost their mothers. We don't shy away from that. We sort of try and, through two characters that are lost in their own way, in their own stories, they find answers together and through the rehabilitation of these animals. So I hope that sort of transcends where it's set, but I also hope that Australian kids can recognise it and can go and see and can go and meet these kangaroos afterwards at the Kangaroo Sanctuary or at Hillsville Wildlife Sanctuary or wherever it may be, and that it impart a sort of a love and a humility around animals, who I think if we go quiet and we listen, we can learn quite a lot.
You are excellent. Lily is excellent. All-star cast, including Deb Mailman, and my teenage crush, Brooke Satchwell, was in there too. So it's always nice to see Brooke on the screen. Oh, how good's Brooke, Matt? She's one of my best friends, and just fantastic. Spending some time up there with her. She loved it. She loved her time up there as well. Always happy to see her on the screen. Kangaroo is going to be a huge smash. I've got no doubt about that. It's filmmaking and storytelling at its best. September 18 is when it is in the cinemas. Nice going, Ryan. Great film. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Leith. Really appreciate it. Enjoy.
All the best. Ryan Corr, star of Kangaroo, out September 18, my guest.
More than support individuals with disabilities. It paves the way for extraordinary people to thrive. FIVEAA puts the spotlight on great NDIS companies like ADL Support Services. They're a business big enough to rely on, but small enough to know your name. Find your joy. Find your yes. Find your place at adlsupportservices.com.au. Keep listening for more great NDIS companies changing lives across SA on Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Much on this weekend? How about a quick trip to Amsterdam? Dig into cones of Belgian fries topped with mayo, mini Dutch pancakes and indulgent Biscoff milkshakes. Stock up on authentic Dutch products, market fresh produce and irresistible Dutch cakes made from scratch daily. Take a leisurely stroll past the windmill, admire the tulips and the Delft Blue. Visit Amsterdam this weekend at the Dutch Pantry. OG Road Klemzig, open 7 days. Just look for the big windmill.
Discover the joy of family connection in the 7-seat hybrid Mazda CX-80. Now yours from a great drive-away price of $59,990 for the CX-80 G40E Pure. Enjoy 3 spacious rows, hybrid efficiency, and the reassurance of driving ANCAP's safest large SUV of 2024. Visit your local dealer to test drive the Mazda CX-80 today. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply. See Mazda.com.au for details.
Tyre Power's footy final sale gives you the power to buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Toyo tyres. Tackle road safety this September thanks to Toyo tyres and Tyre Power. Visit tyrepower.com.au.
Tommy loves to fish, and he also loves his friend who has offered Tommy the use of his boat and trailer for a long weekend. But Tommy's little two-door Corolla can barely top 70 Ks, and that's with a tailwind. Tommy's got a problem. Lucky for him, Avis Truck Rental Adelaide has brand new utes and dual cabs with big badges, and Avis can fit them with racks, tow kits, all the toys. Turn got a problem into not a problem with Avis Truck Rental Adelaide. Open 7 days, 416 Port Road, West Hindmarsh. 82415200.
Okay, here we go. Hold on, is this muffin 1 or 2 weeks old? Wait, I can say no to sad snacks. I'll head to KFC right now for the new Happier Hours menu. 2 snacks for $5. KFC, FLG. 2 to 5 p.m. Selected items, not everywhere and not forever. Pick-up only.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. On time, on budget, on the job.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
When you're finally free to explore, don't buy someone else's idea of a road trip. At Lonsdale Marine and RV, every van we sell is customised to how you want to travel. Off-grid power, bigger fridge, smart storage, stronger suspension. Whatever your journey needs, we'll build it in. At Lonsdale Marine and RV, we're passionate campers too, so we know what works. Hit the road your way at Lonsdale Marine and RV, 30 Donegal Road, Lonsdale.
5AA Afternoons with Leith, Forrest.
8 minutes to 4. Ken O'Brady has 5AA news for us. Stephen Rowe, Scott Camperelli with the sports show coming up from 4 o'clock. A lot of people on the text saying to me about I Am Australian should be our national anthem on the back of the chat with SBS and the new 60 versions online. I mentioned that I spoke to Dobe Newton, who is from the Bushwhackers, about it becoming our national anthem.
It's already an important song to a lot of people. So, you know, I mean, what is a national anthem? Something that, you know, I really don't feel the need. I mean, I get what people are saying and I'm humbled by them saying that. And what that proves is that we've written a song that resonates with people, which is, as a songwriter, that's all you can hope for, you know? And the fact that it's so many people and the sentiment is so universal, that's an amazing thing, and that's enough. You know, I mean, if people, as I said, I'm honoured and humbled that people go, this should be our national anthem. But look, it's already out there and it connects with people, and, you know, that's enough.
Yeah, well said, Dobe. In a bit of a snowstorm, it sounded like at some stage too. Sports show coming up. Stephen Rowe, Scott Camperelli. Now, how is he? Just a quick welfare check on Steamore. Is he okay?
Well, apparently Will and Pembo gave him a going over this morning as well, because he's partly to blame for the Crows' fail. So, but no, he's okay. He's a realist, Rowie. Is he? Maybe.
I was talking to someone about this on the weekend, Mrs. Murphy, we'll call her.
Okay.
And she said, you do have to get ahead of yourselves a little bit.
Of course you do.
Because you've got to get your ducks in a row. Can I get to Melbourne? Can I book flights? Can I get my hotel room? Because if you leave it to prelim final weekend, you're too late.
Well, it'd be pretty boring if we just all played the party line, wouldn't it?
Very true.
In terms of,
Very
you
true.
got to enjoy the journey. Yeah, they fell short, but, you know, 15th to 1st, had a couple of finals, they'll be better for it.
They just had to start well.
Well, that helps, particularly with an interstate team. And there's no better pressure, Leith, than scoreboard pressure, and they were under it right from the start.
That's true. Do you think Big Rob will ever tire of seeing the shin kick on the week? Like that's going to follow him around now forever. And the Matthew Nicks head in hands straight after.
Well, it wasn't the best ball drop I've seen.
It wasn't the best ball drop.
Over the course of the journey, but that's why I always say.
He wasn't the Lone Ranger.
Handball.
That is true. That is true. So a big show coming up, plenty on it.
Plenty around the Crows and their season. We've got the CEO, Tim Silvers, is coming on, which is good. Bill Sanders, so we'll talk about the passing a Max Bashir, which is unfortunate. Done a lot for the state, hasn't he?
98 though.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
It's amazing.
But he'll be well
Squeezed
remembered.
a lot in for sure.
A lot of change in South Australian football. We got Liam McBean because the Tigers have got through to another grand final, going for a three-peat. Yeah, amazing. 5 in 7 years they've played in grand finals.
Sturt get the wobbles. Best team all year by a long way.
Grand finals do wonderful things, Leith.
True.
Yeah, so big show coming up.
Question for you. Somebody said about Max Bashir getting a statue. Do you think what's better, a statue or a stand? He's got
the stand
now.
Yeah.
That's pretty hard to beat, I think.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
I mean, statue's nice.
Yeah.
And, you know, you love Russells and Ken Farmers and Barry Robin.
Yeah.
But
no, stand
when you look up and you see...
Well, you'd be pretty happy, even for the family, wouldn't it, when you go to the footy or Adelaide Oval and you see what he's done. No, well deserved, but yeah, it's sorely missed.
And State of Origin, I'm sure you'll get a call or two.
We will, yes.
You would have played State of Origin.
I did. I was lucky enough and glad to see it back in some form, but we'll see how. It is pretty important for, you know, because I think the players are now turning towards, you know, wanting to be involved in it. Now, February, you know, it'd be an interesting time to play it.
Did you play in the Kernahan one where he kicked a bag on Bruce, or a bit later,
No.
the Mods one where he kicked a bag on
No, I was
someone?
well later than that. Yeah, so, no, I was not that
Where does it rank in your pecking order of highlights?
No, right up there. I would
95
say,
and straight
95
under?
and then, straight under.
Gee
Yeah,
whiz.
well, I grew up watching State of Origin, so I was probably the last of the sort of traditional, you know, players that were able to play with in season. So I got to play with some of my, you know, people that I grew up watching, Kernahan and McDermott and these sort of guys. I got to play State of Origin, which I never thought was going to happen. So
Big red jumper
very lucky.
too.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Campo.
No worries.
We will tune in next.
Coming up next, Adelaide's only local sport show. It's the very latest in sport, live from Adelaide. Enjoy the crisp, clear digital sounds now with the 5AA Player app. Always streaming.